Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my YouTube channel, Just Count Me in Yoga, and my name is Sari Stone. I'm a holistic life coach, a tutor, and a yoga teacher. My students have been asking me for quite some time to post my classes, and so here's the first batch. These actually were pre-recorded during the COVID times. I recorded them for my job, but I will be recording starting in January 2 live classes a month, possibly more. And if you like these, please like, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram at SariStone2025 and come check out my podcast, Just Count Me In, about living your best life. And that also starts January 29th, 2025. I hope you enjoy your practice. Let's get into it. Namaste. For this one, what you're going to make sure you need is is a mat for traction. And I always like to be near a wall in case I want to use that to deepen a half moon pose. Also a block or two. Anything will do that would just prop you up. You can use books and a strap, tie, towel, whatever you need if you want to get a little bit deeper into binds. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to start standing. Take a moment, ground yourself down to all four corners of your feet. And just center yourself here. So take a big deep breath on the inhale. Come onto the toes on the exhale, which is counter to what we usually do. Inhale, come back down. And then exhale, lift your toes, dig your heels in. Sweep your arms up on the inhale. And exhale, plant your hands forward fold is your exhale. Too much computer for me today. Come up to a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come all the way down to seed pose. Release your hands and give yourself a big hug for coming to yoga. Take a breath into those shoulder blades. And then exhale the air. Go ahead and sit back, have a seat, easy seat, whichever leg you want on top first. Just pay attention to this. We're going to start with some Kundalini circles, loosening the ligaments of the spine. So on the inhale, you're going to have a cat back. And then exhale, you're going to round into an arched back. And then inhale and exhale. And then two more. Round, exhale, and last one. Really throwing your shoulders into it. Exhale. Now switch out your leg, and we'll go the other way. So now my right leg is the one in front. You're going to inhale and round the back, and then arch. And round, and arch, and go around the other way. I circled to the right the first time. This time I'm going to circle to the left with breath. Exhale. One more, just loosening things up. Taking any tension out, starting to loosen that up. And yoga is great because it lets you know exactly where your tension is. So go ahead and come on over to your tabletop position. Knees are under hips, fingers are right directly pointing out to where you've got your index fingers, making an 11. So you want to make sure you don't rotate the wrists. Take a breath in here, bring your right knee to your nose, and then exhale the air straight out, fire hydrant leg. Now straighten the leg, and then close the hip, point the toes. Inhale, bring it in, and exhale, extend it out. And then from here, I'm going to turn my back to you so that you see what I'm doing. We're going to do a calf squisher. So my back leg is down. My right shin is going right on that left calf. I'm going to put as much or as little pressure as I want. More is not necessarily better. I'm going to say this is a pretty intense pose. Really good, especially if you've done a lot with hamstrings, or if you have strong hamstrings, if you bike, hike, swim, do any of those things. Take a breath here. It's not going to feel good, but it's going to do wonders for your practice. Breath out. One more. And a deep exhale. Woo! And now come back up. Come to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Now take your right foot and rub the top of your foot into your left shin, kind of a little letter of apology for what just happened there. But then I want you to note the difference in your downward dog of the openness of those two legs. And that left leg is open. Breath and breath out. Come to the tabletop position. Now bring your left knee in, bring it underneath to the nose. Exhale, extend it out to the side. Now inhale, close it up, drop the hip. And exhale, deepen. Inhale, bring in. Exhale, out to the side. Floss that hip, close it. Slight tilt to the collarbones. And deepen. Now pick up that left shin, same thing on the right side. Cross it over so that it's pressing somewhere, anywhere. You can even take it like a little rolling pin on your calves. There you go. And you'll feel the intensity of this pose and back out a little bit if you need to, but definitely do it to where you feel it or it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. Yeah. The more you feel, basically, in this pose, the more you really needed it. Breath in. A big breath out. One more inhale. And then exhale. Go ahead and push back to downward facing dog. Pick up your left leg. Rub out that right shin. A little apology here, but notice how much quicker you're going to be able to open up after doing this. So breath in, come onto the toes, and then exhale, zip up the legs, jump to the space between the hands. Inhale, come up halfway lift, stretch your left leg back, twist into right leg lunge, twisted lunge on the inhale. Now from here, drop your left knee and extend your right leg out, dig that heel in. And I like to use a block if I need the floor to be closer, if I'm feeling tight, depending what you've done and what time of day you're doing this practice. And then just dive into yourself. Windshield wiper the leg. Experiment, be a little bit experimental. Curiosity. Toes to the left, toes to the right. Bow over where you need it the most. Then crawl over that leg, sweep your right leg up, and knee to nose. And up, and step to the outside of that right foot. And floss your hips a little forward, a little backward. There we go, that looks good. Breath. And breath out. Go ahead and close it up on the inhale. Exhale the air, walk your hands out. Anahata. So ears between the elbows. Fingers are pressing, you're not pushing back. You're coming forward just slightly and engaging the shoulders. Pulling the belly button into the spine. Breath. And breath out. Roll to Sphinx pose. Bend up the legs, windshield wiper. Straighten the arms on the inhale directly underneath your shoulders. So place your hands under your shoulders and straighten. Push back to child's pose. It's brief. Enjoy it. Take an inhale here. Straighten the legs on the exhale. Zip up the legs on the inhale. Exhale, jump to the space between your hands. Inhale brings you up to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold you round. Step your right leg back. Left leg is forward. Twisted lunge is the inhale. Drop your right knee is your exhale. Get your block ready if you need a floor extension. And then extend that leg out as much as you need to. And windshield wiper the leg. Really take your time. A little bit to the left. You'll feel it in different places. Maybe bow over the center, and then a little bit to the right. Getting to the tibialis. Breath in. It's a muscle we don't stretch often enough. A ligament in yoga. Breath out. Now crawl over your right leg. And from here, sweep this back, drop your right knee, bring your left leg up, and inhale, knee to nose. Extend it up, and stop it outside your left hand. They floss a little forward, a little back, but we're giving a little bit of extra attention to the hamstrings today as we open. And just floss the hips, glide a little in, a little out. Now sweep it back, push up and back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is your inhale. Breath out, jump or step to the space between your hands. Inhale, come up, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees and reverse swan dive. Bring it all the way up on the inhale. Exhale, press your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, place your palms together above your head and pressing your palms together, cross your thumbs, arc over to the right. So your choice here, as long as you pull on that wrist, you get that length, lengthening that space through the intercostals that we don't normally breathe into. Breath in, and you can steeple your leg, you can float your leg, you can bring this one behind you, whatever feels good at this point for this side opener. Inhale the air, gaze is your choice. Exhale, breath in on the inhale, and then exhale other side. I like to give a little tug, like I'm telling my wrist, okay, we're gonna stretch this side. Replicate the shape that you did on the other side. And then exhale the air, back bend, arch, open. Inhale, puff and round, bring your elbows together, tuck, and exhale, open. Forward fold, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, jump or step back to chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale, roll over the toes, lead with the hips, downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg up on the inhale, bend the knees, stack the hip on the exhale. Now you can stay here, come to some hip circles, some ankle circles, push back into it if you want. When you're ready, close the hips, and knee to nose, step it through between your hands. Inhale, you rise, one-legged halfway lift, coming to standing split. So do this as much as you can with your leg. There can be a bend in this knee, but this leg needs to be very straight. Sacrum is level. So a breath here. Jiva squat is your exhale. You can bring hands to heart if you want. Inhale, extend it. Jiva squat is the exhale. One more. And now instead of Jiva squat, you're going to bring your left foot in front of your right and go pinky toe to pinky toe as close as you can. Bow your hips out to the right and walk your hands to the left. Then come back to center. Bow your hips out to the left and walk your hands as much to the right as you can. Getting into your IT is a little bit early. Breath and breath out. Inhale the air, come up, sweep that left leg behind you, and land, right leg lunge. Now bring that left foot in about 6 inches, tip onto the outside edge of both feet, both toes are pointed towards the right, and drop the hips for a very, very quick lounge lizard. Look over the right hand. Inhale, pick the hips up, wake up those obliques. Exhale, lower, and inhale, pick it up. Back to right leg lunge on the inhale. Bring that leg back, meet me in plank on the exhale. So planks, take a moment to be really sturdy here, and then bend your elbows and lower down, pass through chaturanga. Inhale through upward facing dog, right hard, and then exhale, downward facing dog, pedal. Now sweep that left leg up on the inhale, bend the knees, stack the hip on the exhale, drop that leg. Drop that right heel. You can flex the toes and point. You can make hip circles, ankle circles, up to you. So inhale here and then close it up. And from here, knee to nose, step it through between your hands, launch up in one-legged halfway lift or standing splits. You choose. And then Jiva squat is your exhale. You can have hands down, hands on the block, or hands at your heart center. Inhale, extend it, and Jiva squat. One more. And now cross that right leg over the left. Pinky toe to pinky toe as much as you can. Roll those hips out to the left and walk to the right. Just like we did on the other side. You'll get the outer hip on one side, the IT on the other side, warming everybody up. And then walk your hands to the left, bow the hips out to the right, just ever so slightly. This side won't be as deep. Come up to a halfway lift, bring your right leg up, bend your left knee, come back to plank, pass through chaturanga, and then upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Sweep your your right leg high on the inhale. Step it through. Right leg lunge. Exhale. Now put the weight in your heel and on your left toes. Come all the way up. High crescent. It's probably your first high crescent lunge. So set this up so that your feet have enough space between them. You want to make sure that you're on railroad tracks, not on a tightrope for this. Breath in, and then breath out, airplane it. Now sweep, open it all the way up to star is your inhale. Warrior two to the back of your mat is the exhale. This is a mandala flow. Now from here, reverse your warrior on the inhale. Grab that left wrist with your right hand. Gaze can be wherever you want. Just stay deep into the lunge. And then exhale the air. Cartwheel your arms down. Pass through chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step that right leg through on an inhale. Exhale, drop your left heel. Inhale, lead with your left arm. Come all the way up to warrior two. Extended side angle. So for here, you can take a bind if you want to take a bind, or just roll your chest open, pressing down into the outside edge of that left leg, feeling that opening. Tucking the hip, abs are strong. So breath out. Inhale, come back to warrior two, and exhale, skandasana to the left. Could be just a little gentle skandasana. We're early in the practice. Skandasana to the right. Back up to star on the inhale. Warrior two to face the front on the exhale. Cartwheel your arms down. Come to plank pose. Pass through chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Pedal it out. So we face all four directions in this practice today. Pick your left leg up on the inhale, which can be a little challenging. And knee to nose, step it through between your hands. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. High crescent on the left side, picking up that right hip. If you had headlights on your hip bones, they would be even and both facing the front. So breath and breath out. Airplane the arms. Sweep the arms up to star on the inhale. Warrior two, right leg forward. Exhale. Inhale, reverse this one. Grab your right wrist, pull up and out. Staying deep into that right lunge. Breath out. Cartwheel your arms down and come back to plank pose. Bend the elbows. Come all the way up. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Sweep that left leg through on the inhale. I think I owe you a lounge lizard on this side, so let's collect now. The outside edge of your left foot, it goes down, the outside edge of your right foot, and then dip the hips, look over the left shoulder. Pick it up on the inhale, and exhale, lower. And pick it up, and close it back. Come up high crescent on the inhale. Drop your right heel, blossom it open to warrior two on the exhale. Inhale here, extended side angle on this side. So here you have extended on this side. It's almost as if time stands still. Almost like the clock stops sometimes when we're in these poses. So breath and breath out. Inhale, come back to warrior two, star pose, and then horse. Pedal your legs a little side to side. Breath in. Now keep yourself low. Sweep your arms up on the inhale and press your palms deep and in on the exhale. Sweep the arms up. Gaze follows the fingers and lower down. And one more time. And press the palms lower. Now inhale to star. Warrior two is your exhale. And then cartwheel your arms down. Bend the elbows to upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Pedal the legs. So big breath and breath out. So now we're going to add on to that flow a little bit. Sweep your right leg up on the inhale. Knee to nose is your exhale. Inhale, come up to high crescent and exhale the air, airplane arms. Bring yourself up to star pose on the inhale. And Pracerita is going to be your exhale here. So tip yourself forward as much as you can. Arms are wide and bright. Breath, left. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Skandasana to your right, just a very, very little bit. Now take your left hand to the front of your right ankle and bring your right arm across and look under that left arm. Your right arm is probably just going to make it to your hips, maybe to your knee, maybe to your shin. So breath, this should feel good in your sides. Breath out. Inhale, come up halfway and Skandasana to the left is your exhale. And then left arm comes across to the right, right arm, and look under that right elbow. Just a little bit. Stay weighted in both legs. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, bend your knees, hands on the hips, and come back up to star pose as the inhale. Exhale's warrior two. Now inhale here, reverse your warrior. And exhale, extended side angle, reaching out. So your choice, it might be a little early for some of you to attempt this pose, or some of you might want to try a birds. Not sure, you might need to warm up a little bit more or give it a try. Okay, so that would be, instead of your normal bind, you want to keep that strap behind your leg, closer to the knee. You don't want any binds near the crotch, okay? So breath in, and then breath out. And from here, you can walk your right leg in and pick up that left leg, and then come to a modified birds of paradise, or maybe birds of paradise on this side. It's up to you, where you'd extend that leg out. It's not gonna happen for me today. I'm modifying on the left. So breath out, binds return. Inhale, bring yourself back up to warrior two. And then exhale, cartwheel your arms down. Sweep your left leg back. Now come to forearm plank. Forearm plank here. Left hand goes to your right elbow, roll over onto the left side. So modified side plank. Bring your arm up and to the ceiling, curl it under, and then back up. Above the head, to the ceiling, curl it under, up. This is for your obliques. Ceiling, under, up. Come back to forearm plank. You got one other side. Right hand to left elbow, go over to the side. Sweep the left arm up, over the head, up, curl it under. Reach it up, over the head, up, and under. Up, over the head, up, and under. One more. Up, over the head, up, and under. Coming to forearm plank and dropping down. Now from here, you can bend up your legs behind you and get your arms out to a T. Now roll over to the right. You're on your right shoulder. You can pick up your left leg, bend that knee, and stomp it down. You can bring this left arm back and press your palms together if you want, or grab the foot and come to modified Shavasana. There's going to be an uncomfortable point on your shoulder. That's your mama point, and that's a detoxification zone. So it's a good point to be on right now. There shouldn't be shoulder pain. but it's an uncomfortable point to be resting weight on. That means you're doing it right. So you're in for 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Take a moment here, tee out your arms. Same thing. Roll over to the left, bend up your right knee, plant it down. So you can stay here and feel this twist. The point is right on that front part of your shoulder. Or right arm can come around behind and you can grab that foot for a modified Shavasana. Just a deep, deep quad stretch. So breath in and breath out. Go ahead and close it up. Come on to center on the inhale. Push up to plank. And then downward facing dog. Pedal your legs. So give a big pedal here. Breath and breath out. Jump to the space between your hands or walk. Come up to a halfway lift on the inhale. Now separate your feet hip width. Interlace your hands behind your back. And just let your head hang a little side to side. Face up in your right leg, float your left heel. Nose is by the right knee. Eventually, arms are going to come closer to the floor. Come up on the inhale. And then exhale, other side. Weight is in the left leg. Float your right heel. Switch your grip. Try to remember which grip you had. All the weight is in the left leg. Your right heel is weightless. You're going to the left side. There you go. You're in for 3, 2. Feel the opening. 1. Now inhale, come up to a halfway lift. And then exhale, step it back. Downward facing dog. So sweep that left leg up. Step it through left leg lunge. Come up. High crescent is your inhale. Exhale the airplane arms. Inhale, open it up to star. Exhale, warrior 2 to face the back. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale here, extended side angle. And again, if you want to take birds on this side and get that birds, you can with a modification. Just gonna walk your left leg underneath you and pick up your right leg and extend it out. And maybe you make that bind, maybe not. Maybe you do it with a strap. You're in for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come on out. Bring yourself up to warrior 2. Cartwheel your arms down. Push back to downward facing dog. So before we break, we're almost to the halfway point. Walk your feet in a little bit closer. Separate them a little bit wider. Bring your right heel in, face up in your left hand. Pick up your right foot, so right toes are pointed out like warrior 1. Now pick up your left leg, grab the inside of the foot, give it a kick, and see what all that opening has done for you. Dancing dog. Breath, and a breath out. One more. And then the exhale, step it back, shake it out a little bit. Other side, left heel in, face up in the right hand. Pick up your left arm, bend the right leg. Grab that foot from the inside. Whoop, there it is. I knew I had one. And then give it a little kick and a little reach. 3, 2, 4, 5. You gotta hold a little bit more this side. You got a tighter left side normally. And 1. Go ahead and push it back. Downward facing dog. Ripple round forward, come to tabletop position. Curl your toes underneath you. And climb onto your feet. Climb on. And just base up here. Get this opening. Knowing that this is a pose that we eventually come to, press your hands at your heart center. And then think about bringing your heels a little bit closer together and opening the legs. Also a foot detoxifier. Take several deep breaths here. Your feet will be speaking to you. So so good for your practice and so detoxifying. We walk on our feet all day, yet it doesn't really occur to us to wake up in the morning and stretch our feet. It's really a great way a good thing to do for your body. Especially helpful if you've ever had anything like plantar fasciitis, any of that. Breath, and then breath out. Drop your knees, come forward, flutter out your feet a little bit, and then come to a seat. Extend your legs wide, straddle folds. Reach your arms up on the inhale. Now toes are pointed in for this one. Bow forward on the exhale. Now you can base up in a block here. Yeah, you're almost done with your first 30 minutes. You're nice and stretched out and ready for part 2. So you're gonna hold this and then you can use the block and walk your hands out a little bit closer. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Okay, grab a glass of water and load part 2. So we're nice and warmed up. We're gonna come into a quick downward facing dog. And then from here, you're gonna step your right leg through. No need to even lift it. Drop your left heel and get ready to come up warrior 1. So here's your warrior 1 on your inhale. Reach the arms up and press the palms. Now, from here, interlace your arms so that you've got eagle arm. Left arm is forward because your right leg is forward. And just reach up, intentionally bringing that left hip forward and the right hip back. And then exhale, bow. Bow and lower yourself down. Twist it over to the right. Lengthening through the spine, through the crown of the head, doing that length with the crown, not your chin. And then bringing it back into that hip. Maybe you come to the floor. And stay here. So you're in here for 3, 2, and 1. And then let's drop it down just a little bit, remembering that the goal of this pose is eventually to get this right ankle behind your head. So maybe I take the left arm around in front and I grab the ankle for a little support. Maybe I take that bind that we took earlier. And just know that this is the eventual goal of where we want to go, to be fully flexible back there. But some of us may or may not get there. This is one of those enjoy the journey, because you'll get benefits from the whole journey here. Okay, from here, come back up and let's take the quad opener. Actually, let's do a little regular runner's lunge first. We can do regular on your hands, on a block, or on your elbows. Or drop that knee, put the top of your foot down, base up in your left hand directly under your left shoulder, and press your right leg open, and just kind of lean and drop that right hip, getting that length from the hip bone all the way up through the crown of the head. You're in for 3, 2, 1. Now the quad opener, you can grab that foot from the outside if you want. And kick into it. If you would like to, you can also take this modification where you grab the foot with both hands and go deep into that right hip. So you're in for 3. There should be no knee pain whatsoever. 2, 1. Go ahead and sit back on that left leg. If this does not work for your knee, you can tree that leg. Now from here, a little hip opener. So bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Stay here in this pose and feel the opening in your outer hip. So this should feel good, not bad. And maybe if you really want to maximize it, you might drop over to the right or drop over to the left and walk your hands around. Just really get in there and undo some of the tension that you might have put into your body. Now for some of you, this can almost become a half lotus as long as this is okay on your outer hip and on your knee. It's not better if it is. Breath. Come into your breath out. Now come off your legs, sweep your right leg around behind that left foot and pick the hips up, flash dance pose. So breath here and breath out. Now keep those knees pointed towards the right. Walk your torso towards the left. Some of you might stay here into this twist. It's kind of a different twist. And some of you might go down to your forearms. This is hard, a little road noise there. And they make mufflers. Breath in and breath out. So come back to center. Now from here, you're on that left hip. Extend your right leg up and come to heron pose. Heron pose. And then you can grab the outside of your right leg with your left hand and reach your arm open and get that beautiful twist with your hips in the right position. You're in for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center, crawling over that right leg. Oh, feels so good. Push back, downward facing dog. And then step your left leg through. Take a moment before you actually step. Feel the difference between your right leg and your left leg in this pose and what just happened. So step it through. Just be mindful. Bring your right heel in. And let's come up warrior one on this side. Breath. And breath out. Now from here, right arm underneath to eagle arms. And press. And then bow forward. There you go. Not having things be dependent on external conditions. Not having your feeling of self-esteem having to do with whether you do this pose to its full capacity or not. You can't have our happiness contingent on those things. We can work to improve things, but that doesn't mean that our opinion lessens of ourselves if we can't do a pose. And then come down because we can still do a form of the pose. Come to runner's lunge on this side, pick up that leg. And maybe come down to your forearms if you want. Take an inhale here. And then we can try the one we did on the other side. Place the top part of your right foot down. Bring your right arm underneath the left shoulder. And then lower the hips as much as you want. And just bow in. Take a breath. And let a breath go. Come back to center and let's come to the quad stretch here. So bending up that leg and maybe grabbing the outside of my foot, the inside. Maybe I can grab the foot with both hands and just get that big delicious opening here. So breath in and a breath out. And go ahead and sit back, either tree the leg or sit back on the leg in a different hip opener today than we usually do. Bring that left heel on top of the right knee. And just let that hip open. There you go. Notice how your body is responding to this practice and notice the difference between one side and the other. I want you to just bring your awareness to your body. And then you can go off on one side or on the other. Maybe take a little twist. Maybe twist to the other side. And bring that, come down off of your hip. Bring that left leg behind the right. It's okay. And then pick the hips up. Oops. On the inhale. Big stretch. Exhale, lower yourself down. So from here, you're on the right leg. Extend that left leg, sweep it around, and grab that foot with your right hand. Grab the outside of the foot and bring your left arm over. So we do this one standing. Big inhale here. And then exhale the air. Go ahead and close it up. Crawl over your left leg. And push yourself back to plank pose. Vashisthasana on the right. So we've been at the plank Vashisthasana. This is the other one. This is the normal Vashisthasana. If you need to modify, you can modify with this leg in front or you can drop the right knee and modify, or you can just stack your heels and stay in Vashisthasana. Tree the legs, pick up your toes, this is your practice. At some point, we take the ownership to where we can make our practice authentic and exactly what our bodies need. So you're ready for 3, 2, and 1. Close it up. Push back to child's pose. And then ripple round forward to plank pose. Roll over to the right. And reach the arm up. Maybe you stack the foot, maybe you modify. Picking up the ribs and reaching, stacking ankle or wrist to wrist. You're in for 3, and 2, and 1. Go ahead and close it up. Push back, downward facing dog. And then walk or jump to that space between your hands. Bend your knees, reverse swan dive. Come all the way up on the inhale. And exhale, press your hands in front of your heart. Now from here, we can try a different form of tree. I know we did the bent tree last week. We've done tree on a block. For this tree, some of you might want to do regular tree or experiment with those variations. You also might want to do lotus tree as long as this is okay on your knee. So for that one, you can pick up your leg, making sure that that hip is open, and then bringing your right arm up, keeping your left hand where it is. So find your roots, set your drishti. Opening, like you're channeling a nice beam of light that's keeping you balanced from the ceiling all the way through the sole of that left foot. You can take a bind if you want here. Maybe you find that toe, maybe not today. Going for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release. Shake out your legs. Shakti clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. One more side. Okay. Weight is on the right leg. You're going to pick your left leg up, and you choose if this side is better for you to do a different modification or a different form of the pose. I'm just giving you variety so you can choose. Kind of like getting a variety pack of cheddar bunnies at Costco. And then your right hand comes to your heart center. I know, making me hungry. Pick the left arm up. And reach. Channeling that space between your left fingertips and your right foot. Keeping that left knee opening. Pressing your right thumb into your heart. This is a very, very powerful pose. Good for centering, balancing, and emotional stability. You're in for 3. Maybe you take the bind. 2, 1, and release. Shake out your legs. Sweep the arms up on the inhale. And eagle pose. Gadadasana as your exhale. You're going to be on the right leg. Pick your left leg up, cross it over. Left leg under, press your arms together and lift up with your elbows, sinking the hips as you rise. Just feeling that stretch. We want to compress as much as we can. Then bringing the elbows in. Maybe elbows come to the floor. Maybe fingertips come to the floor. Maybe your elbows might come to the floor. That could happen. And then come back up on the inhale. Unravel. Give yourself a little clap. And weight is in the left leg. Pick up your right leg. Cross it over. You can kickstand that leg or make the wrap. And bring your right arm under. Press it up. And then exhale. Go as deep as you want or as shallow as you want in this pose. The important thing is that your arms are pressing, you're getting the shoulder opening. You're not tipping forward unless you want to compress that way. You're squeezing the thighs, squeezing the arms, pressing the palms. If your shoulders are tight, here's your modification. So one inhale here, and then exhale, release. Swan dive down. Come up to a halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Bring your heels up and come onto your toes again. Come to seat pose. And then come to have a seat. Have a seat here. So we're going to come to a couple of back bends. A couple of heart openers. We're going to do one Ustrasana. I like to do that one against the wall or with a block between my knees. You don't have to, but I am going to demonstrate that. So I'm very, very close to the wall. So much that my hip bones are actually going to press into the wall. I curl my toes under because I have a sensitive back. You might have flat feet. That's okay. So I want my shoulders up, back, and down, and pushing my hip bones into the wall. Tucking my chin. Long through the spine, straight through. So breath here. And then when I can grab my heels, I'm going to grab those and press back into the wall. So I'm for 3, 2, and 1. Sips of air. Go ahead and sit down slowly, slowly, slowly on your heels. It's a very vulnerable pose. You're going to need a minute. If you're new at doing it, it can bring up a little anxiety. Some people can get a little lightheaded. It causes a big release. Okay, that's your first back bend. Now you can come back to another set of Ustrasana if you want. Or you can come onto your back. And circle around the sacrum a couple times. Bring the legs straight up the wall, Viparita. And then grab your toes. Take a little happy baby, a little dead bugs pose. A little side to side. Back in, and then plant your feet. So we can come to the first bridge pose, squeezing the knees together, toes are closer together than heels. Back of the hands are on the mat, and middle finger grazes the heel. And on an inhale, pick everything up. Throat is constricted. This is good for your thyroid. This is a shoulder stand, so basically you're on the shoulders. You can walk those shoulders under you. You look up and only up in this pose. Last breath, lower it down. So for your third back bend, you can come to wheel or a form of supported bridge if that's helpful for you. I particularly have been liking this one lately where I get that block under my sacrum and I lay my legs out straight. I can reach my arms up. Very, very good for tight hip flexors if you're a runner, a jogger. Bar classes, really anything where you might have a tendency to maybe not quite counter it all the way. Or come to your wheel. I'm not going to keep wheel today. Last breath. And then come back to center. Come onto the toes to release that block. Now, if you're having neck or shoulder issues, stay in legs up the wall. Stay in Viparita. Excellent pose for you. You can do it with the support of a block or with no block, okay? If you're not, press your hands down. And some of you might take your hands just to support your bottom to get it up there. You don't have to. Again, looking up and only up, reaching with the legs. Keeping that constriction of the thyroid. Now do what you want with your legs here. You can come to lotus legs, you can come to Supta Baddha Konasana. Your choice. I'm just going to stay right in plow and then lower myself down nice and slowly with control. Bringing the knees to bend, soft bend in the knees, figure 4. I like to push the knee away while I pull the foot towards me and extend that leg up. Feeling that opening, stretching those spaces, calming everything down and coming back to center. Figure 4 on the other side. One side is going to be different than the other. That's okay. This is instead of doing our normal pigeon pose. Come back to center on the inhale. Bring both knees into your chest. Pick up your head, cross your ankles, and grab opposite toes, opposite hand. Give yourself a squeeze. And then keep the knees in. Keep that right knee in and extend that left leg out. And crawl over to the left. I like to use a block under my right knee and I pick up my hips a little bit and stack. You can cactus the arms here if you want. Gaze can shift over to the right, but don't crank your neck on this. Come into a nice deep twist, twisting and bringing out the internal organs. Then we release, they're flooded with a lot of nice fresh blood. Good for the circulation. Stimulates your digestion, the ascending and descending colon. Back to center on the inhale and extend your right leg. Bring your left knee into your chest. Give it a big squeeze. And then very, very softly escort it over your body. And open it up. You gave me a shoulder when I needed it. Keeping the hips stacked. Feeling your shoulder blades flat onto the ground. It's a calming, centering twist. You helped me fight when I was giving in. And you made me laugh when I was losing it. 'Cause you are the reason. For 3, 2, and 1. Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together. Press them together. Take the block or books, whatever you're using, maybe a pillow. Put it between your shoulder blade. Hold it lengthwise. And then lower down very, very slowly onto your back. Cactus the arms open. You might have to work a couple times to find the right spot here. Some people might need to keep their legs, their knees together and their feet apart. It's up to you. This helps to counter that desk work, the driving, texting. Some of you might actually want to stay here for your Shavasana, and you're welcome to do so. If there's another pose that's calling to you that you haven't done yet, if you need to do a quick inversion, whatever's calling to you right now that's in your practice, I'm not going to cue anything else except the pose that we all decide is the dessert to yoga, and that's Shavasana. So when you're ready, we're going to come off the block very, very slowly and bring knees into the chest and rock around the sacrum. Go to the right, go to the left, and bring your knees into the chest. Give yourself a big, big final squeeze. And your release is Shavasana. Extend your legs out. Take up some space in the Shavasana. Start here by pressing your feet, your heels into the ground. And then your knees. And then your thighs. And release your legs. Now press your midsection to the ground. It's going to be a little tuck of the pelvis. This should take a little round out of your back. And release. Now press your hands, the back of your hands into the ground, back of your elbows, the right side, the left side, your shoulders. And then release. Press the back of your head into the mat. And then release that. So close your eyes and tap into this calm, aware state. And this is truly why we do practice yoga. We practice yoga not just for the physical benefits, but for the benefits it gives us in our minds. And although it's impossible or pretty much to abstain from thinking, this is a good opportunity to just bring yourself into a state of awareness and to rest as awareness. So bring your awareness to the four corners of the room, the ceiling, and you can notice thoughts, you can notice these things, but a good analogy that my teacher uses is it's like an intersection. So think of it as an intersection that you would drive through if you were driving to your job. And think about how busy that would be 5 o'clock on a Friday. All those cars, all that traffic. And then picture the same intersection at about 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning. Maybe some birds are there, maybe nothing. The sun hasn't quite come up yet. It's the same intersection. So the cars are like your thoughts, they're like your emotions, they're your opinions, they're that chatter. And that's okay. When you're having a lot of those, just know it's the same intersection. And just that knowledge might help you to maintain a state of calm awareness where we're less reactive and more receptive to those people around us. Centered is one of the biggest benefits of yoga. The more we practice this, the easier it is to make this our default. So when you're ready, please deepen your breath. Take a big inhale and a cleansing exhalation out your mouth. And roll onto either side for this practice. pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Pressing your hands in front of your heart, your thumbs to the third eye center, to the divinity in each of us, and to the divinity in every situation we encounter, whether it's one we would have chosen or not. See the light in it. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next week. Namaste.